Why do you think DeShaun Watson is day one ready, whereas most of our colleagues would beg to differ on that front?
Well, I think part of it is the reason I like him so much is the fact that his character, the culture that he'll bring to the organization. I mean, this kid's got leadership skills. You know, as a high school freshman, he starts on his high school team. As a Clemson freshman, he starts. I think he's going to there's a learning curve, certainly, but I think the team that picks him would be best served to start building the team around him and let his culture take over. Like, put him on the field and let him play and let his culture, let his personality take over on the team. And I think that's really where he'll benefit you for the long term. Plus, he needs the reps to get ready. He'll have some trouble. And I understand what people say, the verbiage and the ability to have to memorize the playbook, not because of intelligence, but just because of the verbiage, the wordiness of all these plays becomes a problem for a guy that it's not used to calling plays.
Well, you know, it's interesting. In your column on theringer.com, you list the day one starters, and then you write under the name best case outcome, comparing them to somebody in the National Football League. And for DeShaun Watson, you wrote best case outcome Marcus Mariota, which is what you just said. Prior to Mariota coming out was the same thing we heard about, well, he's in Oregon, he never turns his back to the defense, they never ever did a play action, and that we heard how he had to that he was literally looking in the mirror to call out verbiage that he had to learn, and Phillip Rivers was helping him on that front as a veteran, was trying to lend his hand, and then all of a sudden, week one, he didn't finish the game because they took him out. He had 4 touchdowns and a perfect passer rating by the third quarter. So it's interesting you chose Mariota as that best case outcome for Watson.
They're very similar. They both played in a similar style of offense. They're both very athletic. They both can make plays with their feet, although they're not runners with the ball. They can buy a second look. They can move around. They don't have great arm strength. I mean, Mariota's arm strength isn't what you would say, oh, my gosh, like Patrick Mahomes. But there's enough arm there. And so I just think Watson's culture, what he brings to the organization in terms of culture change, the team that needs a quarterback usually needs a culture change.
Well, in that regard, so then let's just play this game then. If you're the 49ers, where the cupboard is totally bare at that front, the Bears, okay, I understand that they have Mike Glennon, or as Warren Sapp, who will bring up shortly, called him Mick Glennon on the air once, McGlennon, you know, and that nickname stuck from game day morning. You got him sitting there. We just talked about Jacksonville's situation with Bortles. Obviously, the Titans are sitting there at 5, and there might be a quarterback-needy team that's fallen in love with DeShaun Watson. They would love for their phone ring because then they've got the Jets and the Chargers right behind them. If you are a quarterback-needy team, would you pull the trigger top 5 on DeShaun Watson?
I would pick Watson. I believe he's got a great future in the NFL. I wouldn't be so high. I wouldn't be the president of the fan club if I didn't think that. I mean, look, if I'm the Chargers, and I love Phillip Rivers. I think Phillip Rivers is great. Phillip Rivers is going to play for a while. But what better opportunity to get another young quarterback? The best time to pick a quarterback is when you have a quarterback. And they could get a young quarterback in here, and I think he's got a bright future. All this talk, he's not top 5. I mean, Jared Goff, do you think he was top 5 ready? I mean, now that we watched him? I mean, at some point, that's what my column's about. At some point, the player has to play to where you think he is, not where he gets drafted. And that's my reality with Watson. I think he's a good player. I think he's going to come in and change the culture in an organization. Players gravitate towards him, and I think he's somebody you can build an organization around.
The Rich Eisen Show, weekdays at noon Eastern on Audience.